Hello and welcome back to another unit guide for bolt action, and today we are going to be taking a look at one of the more unique and accessible units to bolt action, and that is going to be the sniper team. And the reason I say this unit is both unique and accessible at the same time is because they are unique in how they function on the battlefield in relation to other units, but can still be fielded by most factions in the game due to the fact that they are very simply a skilled rifleman, which means that even the quote-unquote minor factions in the game do often have access to this support team. So if you are looking to get into bolt action and play some of the more niche armies, having a sniper team in your collection is definitely a very valuable asset to have. Also, I do want to make note that there are a lot of different variations of sniper units that do appear in this game, but in this video we are going to be focusing on the standard sniper team. I won't be covering any of the special Japanese snipers or anything like that, and no Vasily or Simo. All of those will be saved for their respective campaign books when they are covered. So, what do you get with your standard sniper team? Well, first up, for the most part, snipers do come in their own category in a reinforced platoon, which of course means they are not competing with any other units to slot into your force. A very distinct advantage that a lot of these infantry support weapons do have, and is also a major bonus when you consider that snipers are a rather inexpensive activation, as they are a two-man team coming in at just 50 points as a regular and 65 points as veteran, which does of course consist of the sniper himself carrying a sniper rifle and a pistol, and a spotter who is carrying just a pistol. Now, this is significant as there is a bit of conflicting information out there with apps like Battlescribe saying that snipers do carry rifles, as do their spotters. However, in actuality, while the sniper can fire his rifle as a standard unscoped rifle, the spotter is limited to attacking with just that pistol, and can only attack when the sniper is not using a scope, as he is otherwise occupied spotting for him. And that scoped or unscoped gimmick is going to infer how the sniper rifle engages your enemies, and also makes the sniper team a very unique take on the team weapon unit characteristic, as we will come back to later. But notably here, we do see that the sniper team is only a two-man squad, meaning they are going to benefit from the -1 to hit from incoming fire, thanks to the small team special rule. And that will be a significant buff to the durability of this two-man squad, as they are capable of outranging their enemies and engaging them from favorable positions, ideally behind heavy cover, which for the most part makes them a rather difficult unit to counter. And this durability can be increased by taking them as veteran status, something I would highly recommend, especially when you consider that if they do take 1 damage and lose one of their 2 squad members, they will be forced to take a morale check. So you really are getting a lot more staying power here for just 15 more points. Though I would say upgrading from regular to veteran on your sniper team is slightly less important as it would be on something like a Panzerschreck, Piat, or Flamethrower team, as you can make better use of their long range to kite enemy threats altogether. But after that, we are going to see that this is still a team weapon, and your sniper is going to suffer a -1 to hit should he lose his spotter. And based on my reading from the 2nd edition rulebook, unless it has been errated elsewhere, that does apply whether you are or are not using the scope. But let's get into the bread and butter of this unit, which is of course the sniper rifle itself. And when this unit attacks with either a fire or an ambush order, meaning an attack action in which the sniper has not moved, you may choose to attack with your rifle scoped. Now, that of course will mean that your spotter is not able to attack, however, your rifle is going to increase from 24 inches up to 36 inches, and give you a plethora of other advantages on top of that. The first of which being that you will ignore any negative hit modifiers that the unit that you're attacking may have. This includes things like the small team special rule, down orders, and even heavy cover. Basically, any rule that your opponent's unit has on them to make it harder to hit will be ignored, and that does include being at long range also. However, your sniper can still suffer negative hit modifiers if they have an effect on them, such as a missing spotter on the team weapon, or any pin markers on the units. However, if your sniper team is unscathed, for the most part they are likely going to be hitting on a 3+, and on a successful hit, they will ignore any wound modifiers that your opponent's unit may have, such as gun shields, and upon a successful wound roll, will always inflict exceptional damage. And that right there is really what makes this unit shine. A sniper team is pretty much a precision scalpel tool used to remove problematic infantry units by eliminating the most important model or models within that squad. Now, the most frequent and popular use for snipers, from my experience, is removing LMGs from infantry squads, which is a very effective way to use a sniper as you are effectively removing 30 points from a squad with one single hit. However, I personally am a very big fan of removing NCOs from squads, which effectively gives them a -1 leadership stat and makes it harder for them to pass order test and morale checks, which in my opinion has a potential greater points return on your investments, as it can shut down entire enemy units by forcing a failed order test or perhaps even causing a full-blown rout with a failed morale test. Now, keep in mind that Germany does have a national characteristic that is pretty much tailor-made to counter snipers, at least when they target your NCO, as they can very simply have another soldier in the squad take up that cap. However, for the most part when facing Germans, there is no shortage of LMGs, and ironically, the Buzzsaw special rule does make their LMGs a bit more juicy targets than they would be in other factions. So while I am, for the most part, a big fan of sniping off NCOs, against Germans it is definitely better to go for those LMGs. However, there is an often overlooked aspect of the sniper that I think people don't utilize to the best capability, and that is making use of your guaranteed exceptional damage to take out enemy support weapons, which can pretty much completely nullify things like medium machine guns, bazookas, and flamethrowers with one single shot, and more or less immediately get your points worth of value out of your sniper team. And at just 50 points, that should be easy enough, right? Well, here's the part where I explain why I don't like running snipers. As I've mentioned throughout the course of this unit guide series, bolt action is a game that can be incredibly punishing with dice, especially if your single activation unit is only throwing one die during their attack. Yes, ignoring hit modifiers like down orders and cover sounds amazing on paper, especially when paired with exceptional damage, guaranteed. However, when it comes to actuality in games of bolt action, your sniper is going to be required to make 2 rolls during his attack, the first of which is going to be a 3+, which has a 33.33 repeating chance of failure, followed up by either a 4+ roll, which has a 50% chance of failure, or perhaps even a 5+, as you are going to want to be targeting those juicy veteran units, which has a 66.66 repeating chance of failure, which, if I've done my math correctly, will only give you a 22% chance of actually getting that exceptional hit through. And while that does increase to 33% when you are attacking a regular, non-veteran unit, it still means that your sniper is going to require quite a bit of luck in order to actually get some hits off and inflict that exceptional damage. Now, personally, I have absolutely horrendous luck when it comes to rolling single-shot weapons in bolt action, so I tend to avoid investing points into units where I have to put myself in that position. However, I have been on the receiving end of a sniper who has had very lucky rolls back-to-back, activation after activation, and boy can I tell you that it really only takes 3 good hits with a sniper to really diminish the effectiveness of your opponent's units in a way that's not only going to get your points investment back from that sniper team, but also potentially change the course of a battle and easily make that sniper unit the MVP for the game. I have also, however, had matches where I very effectively employ countermeasures to my enemy sniper, such as Panzer Is with twin MMGs or SDKFZ 222s, and sometimes even just the humble medium mortar. Also, there is the very likely scenario that if you and your opponent bring snipers to the table, you will end up in a sniper battle where you and your opponent are trying to knock your other unit off the table, which can either end in a match-long stalemate or a very simple winner takes all, loser takes none scenario, which really feels bad to be on the losing end of. So overall, sniper teams are a very effective and inexpensive activation that is a very good counter against infantry, most notably elite infantry that is geared up with equipment and points. And while they may occasionally feel very OP when you are on the receiving end of a very hot rolling sniper, if you do field a sniper and roll statistically average or even sub-average, you will very quickly notice the shortcomings of this unit, as they not only have a bit of an uphill battle to make those rolls, but they also really need the proper target to present themselves, which isn't exactly the hardest thing at 36-inch range, but it will require a bit of finesse with your deployment and maneuvering, and a lot of luck with rolling those dice. But let me know what you guys think about sniper teams in the comment section down below. Do you always bring them? What was the best kill you ever scored with a sniper? Or are you like me and always whiff single shot weapons and try to avoid them whenever possible? If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like, consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications, as we do have bolt action battle reports coming in the near future. So as always, until then, take care.